another upload, another mod update video. I'm back. And we got a big changelog to go over, so let's get started. First up, we got the new networking system, which now works on Spigot and Fabric DirectionHUD servers, and if you have the client installed, all the action bars now show up in the HUD, as you can see here. Next up, we got the new edit UI, which you can see by going into the saved destinations and trying to edit one of your saved ones. I feel like this is a cleaner way to show the destination, and more things could be added in the future without making much hassle. You can click on any of the buttons here to change anything about the destination. Everything in the save command now shows up in the suggester, so now you can delete, edit, and send straight from the keyboard without touching your mouse. So if you want to edit the color of one of the destinations, you can type color and then the destination you want, and then a new color. As so. The last death UI has also been updated. To see that, you have to first, do that. If you type in the last death command, you can see it's been simplified down. You can now have multiple deaths in the same dimension. As you can see here, 2 deaths in the same dimension. And the newest death will always show up on top. And dying in another, you can see it shows up at the top here. You can now also edit the max deaths amount in the config. Hey, guess what? We got another rewrite. This is the new HUD modules UI. You can use the buttons on the left to change the order of each module. The button next to it, you can use to toggle each module. And the color shows what the current module is doing. Green means it's turned on and is displayed. Yellow means it's on but can't be displayed. Sort of like leaving the destination module turned on but not having a destination set. And gray means it's turned off. There's now multiple pages at the bottom to support more module additions in the future. Next up, we got the track command rewrite. Yeah, I know, it's another rewrite. You have to still send the tracking request as usual, but now the command has been changed. Destination track, set, and then the player you want to track. And as you can see, the tracking request now lasts 300 seconds instead of 90 seconds. But another change that has been added is cancellation of tracking requests. And you can do that with destination track cancel, and then the tracking request you want to cancel. Likewise, you can also accept and deny tracking requests from commands by doing /destination track deny or accept, and then the player that you want to reject or, let them track you. And bam, it works directly from your keyboard. You don't have to click on any of the buttons that have been shown in chat. Alright, I think we had enough reworks for this update. Now, on to the new things. We now have global destinations. By default, it's turned off, but you can enable it in the config, and it shows up where your local destinations show up, but you click the global destination button at the bottom left, and you can see a whole list of global destinations. Only players that have permissions can update this list, and people that don't have permissions can only view, set, or convert these destinations. Speaking of setting, you can do /destination set global, and then the global destination to set to a global destination via commands. If you have the permissions, you can do /destination saved global add, edit, or delete, and you can make a destination like how you normally would via commands. If you have access to the system, you can also open up the global destinations.json file and edit it that way as well. Another new addition that's been added is the inbox system. You can find it by going to the /dhud inbox. In the inbox, you can see all the things that players have been sending you or you have been sending them. But, as in my case, I don't have anything here. But to change that, let's track my alt account here. And if I go back to my inbox, you can see I have a pending tracking request to my alt account right here. Another thing the inbox can do is show the destinations that other players have sent to you. If we go to the inbox right now, after sending myself coordinates, you can see that it shows up right here at the top. Destinations take about 999 seconds to expire, and tracking requests take 300 seconds to expire. Anyways, we got new config entries. We got a new social cooldown option. The default is 10 seconds, and set it to 0 if you want to disable it. This is to stop players from spamming other players with destinations or tracking requests, and can be ultimately tweaked in the config if it's annoying. We also have the new global destinations config option, which by default it's false, but you can enable it for enabling the global destinations. There's a new particle loop config option to change how fast particles show up on the screen, and you can turn that up or down based on how laggy the server is. The HUD refresh config option has been renamed to HUD loop, and there's also a last death config option for the amount of deaths that you can save. The HUD enabled config has been moved to HUD.settings.state, and that's about it for config changes for now. Another big change is changing the dir HUD command to dhud. The DirectionHUD command now can execute any command in the mod or plugin. So if you type /dhud destination clear, you can clear your destination. The DirectionHUD reload now fully reloads all players in the server, and the DirectionHUD defaults command has been removed. It was a pain trying to keep it alive, and I might bring it back in the future if I find a better way to implement it, but if no one wants it back, it'll probably stay in the config files. Next up, the HUD toggle button's gone, and has been moved into the settings. The HUD state setting controls the HUD state, but /HUD toggle is still available and still does work. Another thing that's changed is all player data JSONs now use the pretty JSON format, so you don't have to go scrolling sideways across trying to find a setting to change on a player. There's been a couple fixes, like the player is not fully unloading on server shutdown, and fixing the tracking module pointing to the player when they're in a different dimension and auto-converts off. There's been a fix to the tracking resumed message not showing up. You know, a lot of the tiny things that don't really need to be mentioned. I hope you enjoy this update. It's taken me about a month to write up in total, and there's a lot more things I wanted to add, but I feel like I should post it now before I take 8 years to post an update. But yeah, I'll see you around, and hopefully the next update has way more features that I can talk about. But, you know, I think it's time for me to go now. Goodbye!